Hello and welcome to EmpowHER, the program that focuses on the achievement of remarkable women who are changing the narrative and influencing the society in a positive way. I am your host, Sharana J. On today's episode of EmpowHER, we are shining the spotlight on an amazing young woman whose passion and drive are nothing short of inspiring. She currently, I beg your pardon, serves as the communications coordinator and project lead at Stand with a Girl initiative, creating safe and supportive spaces for girls across Nigeria. She's the founder of ProjectEAC, the Educate a Child campaign through which she's impacted over 10,000 children with access to educational materials and opportunities. Now, she didn't stop there. She also created Creative Teens Corner and Creative Twenties Corner, mentoring young people around the world in creative writing, public speaking, and personal development. Recognized as a top 30 under 30 change maker, Nigerian Shiro, 100 Women Creating a Better Africa, amongst others recognition. That's so exciting, and I'm so excited to have her today with us as she shares our journey, our wins, our challenges, our heart for empowering the next generation. Please join me as I make welcome Seyi Bolaji. I wish it was like a drum roll or something. You're welcome once again. When I was going through your achievement or recognition profile, I was like, wow, that's quite, I even had to cut it short, I must say, but we are going to, project it so that others can see the whole of your achievement. It's really nice to have you in the show once again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's start off with from your personal journey. We know that every woman that has achieved, in a society or is even, planning on achieving globally and touching the lives of people around that community and, of course, the globe at large. We know it's not something you start in a day. And we believe that there is a beginning to all of this. So I would like you to share what was the beginning for you? What was that inspiration? What inspired you to start, or to go into education and social impact?
All right, thank you. So I'd always like to start by saying I'm from a girls' hostel.
Okay.
I don't have a brother, I have all sisters. So growing up, my parents have all girls. And as you know, in Africa, in Nigeria, when you keep having girls, it's that the society starts to see you as just having, girls and not necessarily children.
Yeah.
So it meant that you would have to prove twice as hard that you can do certain things in the society. And growing up in northern Nigeria, I grew up in Zaria, Kaduna State, and I see a lot of children on the streets, even while I have to go to school, who constantly can't be in school. You see them working about or selling things, working around. And I feel like there's more to life than this. They deserve education. Every child deserves education, truly. And one thing I noticed is that it's beyond going to school. Some of them go to school without school books, without school sandals. Somebody needs to do something. Yeah, the government is ensuring that, okay, school is free at the primary level. They go to school, but they don't have educational materials. It's quite hard for a child to use one notebook for 5 subjects. That's terrible. So these are the things I saw while I was growing up. And I knew that, for every child, they deserve better. And I thought that, it's important to get into the space, the social development space, and do something first for myself and even for those children, and to make the society a better place. Because I would say that, I am a girl who my parents thought I would be a boy. So that itself is something that pushes me to do more. Yes, because I know that I always need to be more. I am not struggling. I am not trying to prove a point, but it's important for everybody in the society. So we rewrite the future for children who have not been given one, because those who are on the streets, it's more like they've not been given a dream. So they can't see far, but there's so much potential in that child. And that's why I work around education and sexual and reproductive health for women and girls, for children as well, because it's really important. Yeah.
That's truly inspiring, I must
Thank
say.
you.
I love what you said, and of course, you just ran us through your journey, what inspired you. But is there a personal experience or a personal story, I would say, that pushed you into, now let's leave the social impact, let's be specific, into going to advocating for young girls and less privileged children? Maybe a personal story about you that pushed you into doing that.
Okay. So I would share a story. I was just getting into that when I said, okay, at first my parent did not know. So my elder sister told me that when I was born, she just came back from school and she was asking, is it a boy or a girl? And then they told her it's a girl. She was disappointed because she wanted a brother.
Oh.
Yes, because my parent kept giving birth and then girls. So it's that, I don't know at the time, maybe I need to still have the conversation with my mom. I think that ultrasound was not a thing, so you wouldn't even find out if you're going to have a boy or a girl. So you just know that, okay, you're having a baby, and when it comes, because we were not even born at the hospital, we were born at the mission house, where we have like midwife, were at the churches. So that's where we were born. So I'm sure that they didn't have to like check if it was going to be a boy or a girl, but expectant. I'm the last born. So that's, it would be a boy. So she told me that she was really disappointed. And so for everyone, it felt that, okay, she was supposed to be a boy, but she's not a boy, she's a girl. So she's just there, nothing written for her. And consciously, I would say that maybe I wasn't very intentional about my childhood, yes, but there was that thing in me that kept telling me that I needed to be more. And I needed to show that I am not just a mere girl, because being a girl is more. And I have to constantly, so getting to see things around me, and I just knew that I wanted more. And I saw other girls too in the society. And I know that, for every girl would deserve much more. And for me, it's that I would tell one quick story again. I remember when I was in primary 3 and a boy came in newly. We were to start like primary 4 together for summer. And he came and said, nobody can beat him because he's a boy. I'm like, wow, interesting. So for him, even though I would not even read as seriously as I would, I took it seriously. I mean, I read my life out just so that I can prove a point to him that it's not by gender, really.
Yeah.
And then, yes, I came first for that summer and I was able to like clear it out. So seeing things like that really pushed me to advocating for girls. And also, I'll say that I grew up being a very timid teenager, even though you might not necessarily know because of the things I do. So that's why I advocate for girls to speak up. One of my colleagues would say that life is very unfair to people who are not able to speak up. And that's true. If you don't talk about your issues, nobody would think that you matter. Nobody would know that they are important things. So for me, these are the issues that I saw, and that's why I advocate for girls, because girls are humans too.
Definitely.
Of all things, we are first humans before any other thing. So we must not discriminate. We must ensure that girls and women have opportunities just like men as well. So that's why I do the things I do, and based on my experiences growing up and the society just thinking that you're just a girl and you don't matter because you're a girl. Yes.
Wow, such an amazing personal experience. Well, before we go on the show, we're going to go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll continue Empower.
Culture connects us beyond borders. It's a bridge between traditions, creativity, and the future.
Culture is alive, shaping identities and communities every day.
Art tells stories of resilience and vision.
Artists blend tradition with innovation.
Cultural preservation creates sustainability and empowerment.
Culture evolves and adapts.
Music and dance unites communities through movement.
And right here, in the heart of our cities, artists and creators are keeping these cultures alive.
On Culture Cove, let's explore,
celebrate,
and preserve the arts and culture that define us.
For 2 seasons, Timeline has taken you on a journey of exploring real-life issues and solutions. Well, we are on to season 3 of Timeline, a space where we talk about real issues shaping our world. Here, we sit down with voices that matter, with people who are driving change and making impact. We are talking about more than just problems. We're talking about the attainment of our collective commitment, the global goals, the SDGs, and of course, our community-specific targets. Our conversations aren't just about highlighting problems. They're about finding solutions that truly works, solutions that touches lives and impact the globe. An appraisal of how close we are in meeting our global and community targets. We create rooms for honest, thought-provoking conversations, a ride that you wouldn't want to miss. Well, this is Timeline, where conversations lead to solutions that change lives. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is EmpowHER, and we are with Seyi Bolaji. Well, we're talking about your personal journey, and you shared an inspiring story. What inspired you to, begin your advocacy for young girls and privileged children. Now, let's go to your challenges. Now, when people see your recognition, your awards, they would give a thumbs up. Oh, Seyi Bolaji is doing amazingly well and all of that. And of course, they are saying that because they are seeing it from their own perspective. Now, I believe that there are challenges. Before the recognition, there are challenges you've had to fight. There are, fears and wars that you have to just struggle with before you get to where you are right now. I would like you to share those challenges and how you were able to overcome them and what kept you going in this journey.
All right. So I'd say that, like you mentioned, for every success story, there are processes. Personally, I love to share my failures a lot. People wonder why I do that, but it's important because process matters and we need to tell people so they're not just seeing the success or the successes that we have or that someone has without looking at the challenges that one has been through. One of the challenges I would tell you is that a number of times when you have to do certain things, it's as though you want to prove that you really are equal to the task. People think that this doesn't happen again. It's the 21st century. This is 2025. Women are allowed to speak. Now, that's one of the challenges of the work. So people constantly wanting you to prove a point that you can do this. It's so sad that a number of times people would not even ask a man if he is qualified or not. But if it's a woman, there's so many questions. Are you qualified? Are you sure you're able to do this? I am not saying give women certain position or opportunities because they don't have the qualification. There are women who are qualified but are not even given the opportunity. But even with all of the qualifications you have, it's that people would doubt whether you're equal to the task or not. And that itself is something that can make you sad or wake up and say, I don't want to continue this work. I see that daily, but I don't even allow it get into the line of my work. But no matter how, as humans, it's that it would get to you sometimes when people think that, oh, you don't belong here. It doesn't matter. Another thing I would talk about is I am a multifaceted individual. I do so many things at the same time. And this means that it can be a lot sometimes. There are days that you wake up and you're tired. And if malaria is not pushing you down, something else is keeping you. But there's so much work to do. I understand the place of rest, which I'm still working on that to get enough of rest. There's so much work to be done. And, times that you would have to leave this for that, forfeit this and get to do. But majorly it's trying to ensure that you are getting the job done.
Yeah.
It is that. And there are times that it's frustrating, really. I don't think that people even share that as much. There are days that you wake up, no matter how beautiful your job is, no matter how passionate your work is, they are like, oh my God, I'm tired today. But then what keeps me going for that is that I think about the fact that there's a girl somewhere that needs to be reached out to. There's a boy somewhere that needs to be reached out to. There's a young person out there that needs to know something. And if I don't get out of my bed, they would not have that information. So with that, I am able to keep going. I would say that these are some of the challenges, really, the society. But as humans generally, life is challenging. But then you have to pick it up and say, oh, I have to keep going.
Definitely. Talking about doing quite a number of things. You work with the SWAG initiative, and also you are the founder of ProjectEAC. Now, let's start off with the SWAG, the Save a Girl initiative. You are the communications coordinator. Yeah, and I believe that you are at the forefront of creating safe space for girls. And I know you've come across a lot of impactful stories in regards to Stand With a Girl initiative. I'd like you to share one of the stories, and how has SWAG been able to impact the life of that child or the girl?
Okay, so I would talk about girls at internally displaced persons camp where SWAG has been working. We currently have girls, 27 of them, from internally displaced persons camp here in FCT that SWAG is catering to their, would I say school fees? Yes, they say school is free, but there are educational materials that they need to buy, including their transport to school. So SWAG is taking charge of ensuring that these girls are in school and they currently go to school. But I would give an example with one of the girls. For these girls, when we met them, a number of them could not even speak out. They could not say a word about the challenges that they're going through. They were very timid and shy. They could not have conversation about their struggles, living at the IDP camp. But we've seen over the years with the work that we've done with these girls, we have a safe space program, which is for 6 months that they go through, because these girls have been out of school for so long. And what we do first is to enroll them into that safe space where they learn about life skill, numeracy, literacy, and this helps them to stay confident, and they're also able to speak up. Particularly, one of our girls we had has been able to speak to stakeholders, to government officials, to advocate for other girls like her. As a matter of fact, they had an advocacy sometimes last year where they went to NCFRMI, it's such a long name, but National Commission for Refugee and Migrants, where they went and met with the commissioner. They spoke about the issues affecting girls in their community and even boys in their school. That same day, the commissioner ordered that over 100 tables, school bags, sandals should be taken to the school. Now that is one girl, a girl who could not speak up for herself months ago, now speaking up for not just herself, but for other girls like her. This is the transformation we continue to see. And aside that is that they're able to make informed decisions. They now have information about their health, their education. So they're able to talk and tell people that, oh, see, this is what I want. I am not just a girl. There's so much that we have. And that's because at SWAG, we ensure that every girl, no matter where she's born or found, is empowered to fulfill her maximum potential. So what we constantly do is to empower these girls so that they're able to speak for themselves. We cannot continue to tell the stories of girls and women. They have to speak up for themselves, because that it is. Because when we empower them, they're able to speak up for themselves. And that is what we currently do. So we give them that resources that they need, and they speak up for themselves. It's a big win for us.
Amazing. Such remarkable achievement, I must say.
Thank you.
You are the founder of the ProjectEAC. And of course, you guys have reached about on 10,000 children. That's quite huge, I must say. That's applaudable.
Thank you.
I want to believe that there was a starting point when you started this idea and you just realized, oh, I can actually turn this into a reality. Because there's one thing to start and say, I'm just doing it for the meantime. Or maybe some persons will say, okay, for my birthday date, I just want to do this, and then I go back to my life. What was that, would I say, turning point for you when you started and you just came to that realization, oh, I think I want to do this. I want to, I want to be the founder of this NGO, and I want to continue this and turn it into a reality?
Okay, thank you. So, a quick story. I love to share stories. In 2011, there was post-election violence in Zaria, Kaduna State, and everything we called property then was destroyed. I mean, we only came out with what we were wearing that day. That was it, no other thing. So it meant that we needed to move from where we were staying to another place. I would not call it completely rural, but it was almost rural. So it was more like we were the local champion in the area. So it started with one girl coming to our house to say, oh, to come meet me. I have an assignment from school. Can you help me do that? I think the news now spread in the community. And before you know, we now had 5, 10 girls come to me the assignment. And from that assignment, we moved to having like evening lesson just in front of my house that we needed to get like a board where we would write, just teach them. And they started calling me auntie and all of that. It was more like a school. They started with one person and then school.
Yeah.
For me, that was the beginning of thinking of something about Project Educate a Child. Interaction with these children when they came around, they were going to school, but I saw that the quality of education, they don't even have enough resources. So it's beyond being in school. And that's what ProjectEAC is doing. They need to have resources. They also need to learn the quality of education. Because a child is in school and he or she cannot write, then there's a problem. A child is in school, he or she goes to school without sandals, does not have textbooks, does not have notebook. So I saw all of those issues while teaching them. And that was when I started saying, oh, there's a need to do something. And years after then, when I was done with school, I had to start Project EAC, which started like a birthday thing in 2020. Yes, it was my birthday, the month of March. And so we started, that was the first one. And I said, oh, no, we need to be intentional about this. Let's keep it running. And we're still doing that till now.
Amazing, amazing, Seyi. I would say you're doing greatly when it comes to empowering, girls, empowering less privileged children. And also, when it comes to the educational sector, you're contributing immensely well in that sector. Well, we're going on a short break now, and when we return, Empower still continues.
Everybody has a stake in making the world a better place with love and compassion. As we thrive daily, we continue to strive to face the many challenges that faces our Earth, because together we all matter. On one side, we are exploring the captivating stories, the trends, the glamour, while on the other hand, we're looking at the love, the care and compassion from our champions. In our Stars Quiet Cove lies the burning passion for humanity, which is seldom known and unsung to the world. Join me on Famed to look at the flip side of your favorite beyond the regular.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is Empower. Now, Seyi, we're talking about, Project EAC, and of course, you talked about how the numbers of children you've impacted, that's about 10,000, and how you came to the realization that this is a reality for you. Now let's talk about the educational sector. We know that we can't overemphasize that. We can't even talk about the whole of the educational sector and some of the things that are not right, especially in Nigeria. Let's even bring it down home right now. So if you're given the opportunity to change just one thing in the Nigeria educational sector, what would it be as a lady that advocates for education for children?
Okay. So if I have to change one thing, it would be the quality of education and also ensure that we don't just focus on out of school children, but in school children. Because we keep focusing on out of school children, we bring them into school, and those in school are not even learning. There's nothing to show for it. I know children who have been in school for the past 6-7 years and they are not able to read and write. So until we're able to solve the problem of quality, I don't think we should even take people out of the street and take them into school, because what would they learn? So if there's something, and that's what ProjectEAC is big on itself, let children who go to school, let's see the results. It's important that we see that, oh, this child is going to school and it's evident in their life.
Amazing. Let's talk about the Creative Teens Corner and Creative Twenties corner. You know, usually I would hear just teen corner, everybody want to do teen, want to talk about teen. Well, you're bringing in Creative Twenties corner. That's, when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's new. That's new to me. And I'm super glad you're on the show. I guess as many persons that have not heard of the Twenties corner, they'll hear about it now. And just like I say, you created the Creative Teens Corner, the Creative Twenties Corner to mentor young people globally. Now, I'd like you to share what you've learned personally from interacting with this young mind, because there is just wanting to gather them, you know, in just one spot and say, okay, you just want to, you want to empower them or whatsoever. There's another thing to mentor them and get to know how do they think, what are they lacking, and all of that. And I would like you to share just one or two things you've personally learned from those young minds.
Teenagers and even young people, they don't like to be policed. There are ways to talk to young people and to get information from them and to also ensure that they learn and they make the most use of their life. So having to scream at them every time and say, you must do this, because one thing I have discovered is that young people are experts on their own issues. If you're not a young person, you would not relate. And even as a young person, I might not be able to relate to another young person's issue until that person tells me. So because it has worked for Seyi, does not mean that it's going to work for another young person.
Exactly.
We have our different parts, and most importantly is to be authentic. And that's it. So when we listen to young people, it's that young people really want to be listened to. They really want to be listened to without you judging young people, because so many people judge young people without saying a word. You see a young person and you assume that this is it. You've not even had a conversation. So in my interaction with teenagers, with young people at Creative Teens Corner and Twenties Corner, this is something big that I've found out over the years, that young people want to be listened to, and they're also experts on their own issues. So if you must do something for young people, you need to consult young people first.
You need to consult young people first. Amazing. That's a remarkable comment, I must say. We're wrapping up, but I would like you to answer this question because it's really important, and it's regarding the girl child. You know, we understand that you are an advocate for the girl child. You want to just help them live a better life and all of that. But I believe you've come across situations where the cultural norm plays a significant impact in even your relations or helping of those, you know, the girl child and all of that. They can be resistance, rather. They can be their social institute playing a huge role in their life and just making things so difficult for people like you and some other NGOs to even penetrate to help those girls. Now, how have you been able to overcome such issues in your advocating for the girl child?
Okay, thank you. Culture is very important, and we cannot throw away the part of culture, because this is Africa and this is Nigeria. And one thing I would always tell people who work in the space that I work, that's the social development space, is that in telling people or providing certain solutions for them, we must also respect people's culture. Of course, there are harmful cultural practices that we need to talk about, but respecting people's culture and letting them know that they respect their culture is key. But then you come in with data to show them what has worked and what has not worked in the past, and that's where they understand that. Quick example is, for Stand With a Girl initiative, for example, when we have to work in northern Nigeria, places like Zaria, where we're implementing sexual and reproductive health, we will not throw away the culture. We would be part of the people. I have been to communities where I have to cover my hair, I have to dress in a way that makes me look like people in that community, not because I want to deceive them, but because it's important that I respect their culture. I cannot go to the community looking like this because that is not how people in this community look. I am not deceiving them, but I need to look like them to respect their culture. That's when my message can come as important. They see me and they say, oh, this person respects us, so they're able to listen to me. So for people who work in this space, because you keep seeing resistance from different culture. Oh, my culture says this, my culture says that. Come in with data. What is data saying? Globally, data is saying that we have over 20 million out-of-school children. In Nigeria, we have this. In this community, this is what it has been over. When they see this data, when you give them this information, then they come down to your level and say, oh, really?
Talking about data, I'm going to be reading data from UNESCO Institute for Statistics. Brought out a report that states that, it's a report that states that more than 86% of the world's population know how to read and write, compared to 68% in 1979. Now, despite this, worldwide, at least 739 million adults still cannot read and write. 2/3 of them women, and 250 million children are failing to acquire basic literacy skills. Now, as an advocate for children education and all of that, I just want you to drop a comment or make a remark on this data.
There's been progress. I love to acknowledge progress, no matter how little it is. And we see that there's been progress compared to what we had years before now, 20 years before now. But we still have this issue. It's still occurring, and we have children who are not able to read and write, like I mentioned earlier. We need to go back to the drawing board. And even talk about teachers. Maybe we're also focusing so much on the learners and leaving the teachers. There's nothing that learners can get if they don't have teachers who are qualified. Teaching in Nigeria has now become, I don't have a job to do, even if it's teaching. Someone still sent me a voice note yesterday and said, even if he's teaching, I was tempted to say, even if he's teaching. Teaching is one of the most important things, because for everybody that you see, every profession, it means that they have to go through teachers. But we have seen that as, oh, I don't have a job in Nigeria, I'm just going to go to teaching. But then do we even blame the citizens? No, it's that there are no jobs truly, and people have to do something. So we have to look at it, what is the root cause, and then go back to that. Because if children are not able to read and write, it means that they're not getting. In fact, do the teachers know how to read and write effectively? I have been to school that on just the board, when you see a wrong spelling of the subjects that the children are about to learn. How would they learn? It's difficult. So these are the issues. And if we don't resolve this issue, if we don't go back to where it started from, then we'll keep having this problem. And as a matter of fact, some parents will not want to put their children in school. I have met parents that said, oh, I have a child in school that has stayed several years and she's not able to read and write. You want me to send another child to school? For what purpose? Because there's nothing to show for it. So we have to ensure that we go back to what the teachers are even teaching the children themselves, and what provision or resources do the teachers have so that they are also able to learn. Let's go back to ensuring that teachers are really teachers. There's a place where teachers learn. It's not just you finish from the university and you get into, there are colleges of education in Nigeria. People who are certified teachers. Those are people who should teach, and not just anybody.
Thank you so much, Seyi Bolaji. It definitely was a remarkable conversation with you, from your personal journey to the challenges you faced, to the SWAG initiative, to the ProjectEAC, to create the Teens Corner, create 20s Corner. It's been a remarkable conversation with you, I must say, and we love what you do. Now, I feel like giving you another recognition added to the recognitions you have. Thank you once again, Seyi Bolaji. It was nice having you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's where we draw the line on EmpowHER today. Until next time, I am your host, Sharona J.